Welcome to my channel. Today's reading is for the sign Taurus for the month of September, Sun, Moon and Rising. Before I get into the spread, I'd just like to begin by giving you a background into what's happening planetary. So right now, a lot of significant energies are actually playing out. So you've got Saturn, which is now going direct in the sign Capricorn, and what that's doing is it's actually triggering and activating certain themes in our life. But it's interesting because it relates to themes of 2014 when Pluto was doing that same route. So what you might find is the similar themes are being tested, and the reason why it's being tested is it's a time for you to actually see if you've learnt the lessons and you've overcome those cycles and old patterns. So then we also have a Pisces full moon upcoming 13th and 14th of September. And this moon creates a lot of sensitivity, but perceptiveness and awareness. So you might find that you're picking up a lot and you're a bit more emotional this month than you were in others. Or you could feel very insecure, a little bit anxious. Some of you might be more perceptive and intuitive. So really feel how you're feeling and be open to that. September 14th and 15th, the personal planets are starting to go direct. So Mercury, Venus and Mars in Virgo, and that's all to do with routines for the first half. The second half of September, Mercury and Venus then shift into Libra, and that's all about networking and socializing. So that's quite refreshing for the second part of September. September 23rd, we have the equinox, and that's when there's an equal balance between daylight and moonlight. So it's creating this need for balance again. You've got the Libra new moon again, which is calling towards balance and harmony. So it might be a way to move through these energies by finding your center point. So Taurus, when I think of Tauruses, it's always to do with reliability, patience and devotion. But on the other side, there's a tendency that you can fall into being a little bit stubborn or sometimes possessive over what you hold dear. But before we get in, as we get into this reading, we'll just see what energies want to come out and what energies are ready to show us what we have in store for September. I feel also the energy is quite certain. There's a lot of certainty, directiveness, orderly, getting things into order, I feel. Right, so let's get into your reading and see what comes out. So you've got the Seven of Wands, Four of Swords, and the Lovers. So, Seven of Wands. So for some of you, I feel that there's also there was a sense of taking guard, feeling that you need to be protective. It could be of yourself. It could be that you're also fighting all these thoughts that were coming at you, and it could be your own thoughts. It could be that you were taking on other people's, like receiving their thoughts, as in really taking their perceptions of you to heart. And it was this need to kind of stand guard and, you know, fight off all these thoughts, all these wands that were coming at you. You've got the Four of Swords next, and the Four of Swords is a process of healing, but this idea of still, although the swords are not harming you, but you're still, in the picture, you're still clutching your heart and you're still protecting your heart because you've gone through some sort of pain. So it could be that your own mental thoughts have given you this mental, I'm feeling wear down and sort of pain, that you feel that you're in this hibernation period, but you're still very protective of your heart. You've got the Lovers card, which is amazing, which it's a coming together with a person. It could be in a relationship that you and your partner are slowly overcoming these issues that you may have had, all these problems that you felt that you had to be protective over, and you're finally coming out of that phase with somebody that you love. If it's to do with a situation at work or a general situation you're going through, whether it be through a friendship or any other person, it's to do with actually you being able to come out of this phase, and you will do, but there's this tendency to feel quite protective over yourself because you're holding on to that ounce of pain. If it relates to you, and I feel it relates to some of you, to do with your own mind, your own self. So when it's to do with your own self, it's overcoming those thoughts that bog you down, those thoughts that create those perceptions about yourself, create that false identity of yourself, and it's finally coming to the point of being able to love yourself. We always look to love others and to learn love by loving others, but rarely do we actually practice self-love, and that for some of you is actually coming to a point of self-love. What do I need to do to love myself? How do I let go of these thoughts that are actually harming my mental space? Do I need to be so on guard and feel like I need to fight everything? Because all these thoughts are coming at you. But there's a sense of the swords are down. There's actions that I feel, it could be some of you feel like somebody or something external to the self is coming at you in terms of actions, and you're tired of fighting it, but it's a sense of cultivating the self-love. So that's how it might relate to some. Oh, so this is really, really interesting. So again, you've got this idea of fighting off things. This is very, so again, the seven of wands, and you've got the Seven of Wands upright. So a lot of you are going through, and this is from, if I may add, it's from 2 different decks, and it's funny because it mirrors the whole story. Again, so the Seven of Wands, you've got the Seven of Wands upright, and this idea of fighting off these actions, these ones that are coming. You've got the Four of Swords, and then you've got this card in reverse. So it's showing that you're getting rid of this mental anguish and pain. Great, that's amazing. But then what's really interesting is, for some of you, I think this is where the problem is. For some of you, you're cultivating this love, but for some of you, the Lovers card is come in reverse. So this may be that you need to be at a point where you are focusing on that self-love. You are focusing on what you love. If it's a venture, if it's something to do with what makes you happy in the material world, you need to focus on what makes you happy. What are you passionate about? And I think some of you are moving out of this energy and will be focusing on the self-love or focusing on what they're passionate about. But some of you are, although the swords are slowly coming out, you're still not at the point of that self-love or focusing on what you're passionate about. That's going to drive through this this feeling of forward movement. That is very, very interesting. So then, right, so we have the Death card that's come up. So this ending, this idea of this ending of a cycle. I think some of you are really coming out of this cycle, and the key thing is this love. Then you've got the Two of Swords, so this decision. So for some of you, it's taking that decision. I'm also getting others may be going through a choice between two people, but you will choose love. Some of you might not. Some of you might actually be thinking that you're dealing with love, but in fact you're dealing with a karmic partner. So just be careful and be aware of that. And then you've got Eight of Pentacles, working on something, working to build something, working on yourself. Let's just see this card here. The Magician. A lot of the signs have actually, there's other signs that have come up with the Magician, and again that's being able to, I think, work through these energies that are coming up at us. But your reading is really, really special in the sense that these themes are certain, because they've come up now from different card decks. I haven't used the same deck, so it's confirmation for me on what the energies you're going through, and these are heavy, important themes. But I'm getting a strong sense to tell you that it's all about self-love. So the Seven of Wands being the actions coming at you, or actions coming at you. For some, letting down those thoughts that bug you down and making the choice of self-love, or making the choice of love that makes you passionate, something that you love, something. Don't focus on the negativity, focus on that which makes you excited. Follow your passion, follow your excitement. And I'm really proud, because I feel a lot of you are actually moving through a cycle. You are actually coming to the end of this cycle that you've been going through, where you haven't been able to either control actions coming at you or things coming at you, and you haven't been able to decipher, and it's been affecting your mental state. But you realize that the answer is choosing self-love, choosing what makes you passionate and excited, and following that. And that, I believe, for some of you, is that decision, is that coming to the Two of Swords. You have the Two of Swords, which you feel like there's two options, there's things that are unseen, but there's also pain. Which way do I go? And I think a lot of you suffer with, if I go down this route, what would I jeopardize? But the key is follow your passion, follow your love. And what you will do is you'll actually be working. And I see you guys working on something, working meticulously on something and building something and you see that focus, because you know you're doing what you love. You focused on what you love. And you've got the Magician that's come up. And the Magician is being able to move these energies and being able to create. And I think a lot of you are in a space of creation, creating something for yourself, creating a new version of yourself. And that's very powerful. So I'm really proud of the Tauruses out there who are actually allowing and going through this energy. And I'm glad to say we'll be towards the ending of the cycle. You're almost at that breakthrough. And the answer is love. Self-love. It's to do with love and being able to follow your passion, follow your heart. And you have overcome, you understand all these thoughts that have held you back, all these being able being unable to deal with all these actions coming in, you're able to understand what's important. I mean, it's remarkable because you've got the Seven of Wands come up twice in a reading. And then you've got the Four of Swords, which is the similar energies that are coming out over here. So, and then you've got the Lovers again, which has come up twice, but the only difference is one has come up in reverse. And that, I believe, is showing us where the answer lies. Is, what do you choose? Choose to follow your heart. Choose to follow your passions. You will never go wrong. Focus on yourself. Focus on self-love. Cultivate self-love. And you'll be able to move through these energies in such a profound way that you yourself will feel you have broken through that cycle. So yeah, and you can see, like, the Death card has come out, so it's an ending. It's an ending to this cycle, because I believe a lot of you have learnt and have almost passed that test, which is absolutely great. So really positive readings for Tauruses. Really happy, really proud, and I think it's a moment that you should reflect and you should feel proud of how far you've come and how you've actually been able to deal with things. Because a lot of you, I feel, have gone through a lot, but have gone through it very silently, and have silently gone through situations, but have come to this point of learning, and now you're able to look back and go, wow, I choose self-love, I choose love, I choose to follow my passion and my heart. And with that energy, you will work on something, or a lot of you are working on something, and that will manifest very well, because you can see by the number of pentacles that are already there. And there's continued to be, you know, more coming in. So keep at it and remain positive. Follow your heart, follow love. Self-love is so important. And that is a message that through you learning that, you'll be able to impart that to others, just by merely your actions and the way you operate in this world. So have a wonderful September, and please do like, comment and subscribe. I'd love to hear about what you're going through and how you've managed to cultivate self-love or follow your passions and your heart. But have a wonderful September, and I will be speaking to you next month.